Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you all for coming out. I'm assuming that a lot of you have been watching the forums that they had on television, and they also had them on Radio Cayman. A lot of things came out in those that should have opened a lot of people's eyes. But it's one thing that's been consistent. The PPM have been doing their best to try to do something over here while so you can ignore what they have done. And what they have done is practical and nothing. You ask them, what revenue earning measures have you put in place? They're living off the things that Mr. Bush and the previous party had put in place. And when you look at the projections that they had set in place, they were not far off. Yet, they still want to talk about, oh, this is what was done, this was done 8, 12 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask everyone this. It's a simple question. They're telling people, we put 2,000 people to work. Now we want to find out where those 2,000 people are. And I want to find out how come our people that I'm driving around, taking to different places, can't get the jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, do not believe the hype. And that's all it is, a lot of hot air. A perfect example of how they have operated. They got in and they said everything bad about the cleanup Christmas program that Mr. Bush used to have in place previously. The first year they got in, they didn't do it. Second year, they didn't do it. Then all of a sudden, they brought it back, tried to bring it with another name, but whereas under Mr. Bush, you were getting $10 over, they're paying you the great $6 an hour. And that was another thing that got me on the forum. One of my esteemed opponents, Mr. Mervyn Smith, not right beside me, sitting in the back of the room, was the Minister for Labor and Education, Honorable Tara Rivers, who it was her and the crew of the PPM that put this $6 in place. Yet he sat down and said in one breath that you needed more, and the next breath that it was a good thing. They can't, ladies and gentlemen, you must listen carefully when these conversations go on. Another thing to show you how the PPM operates. We have people who need to feed their families, people who need to buy medication. We have a major iguana problem. We identified money in Parliament. They tried to let it slide, and it was identified on the opposition side that there was $150,000. Something like that. What did they do? They chose 16 people. 16 people to go out and get the iguanas. Would it have been common sense to say, listen, everybody who's a Caymanian, every iguana you bring in, you get $5 a head. All them young boys about district here and Georgetown, everywhere, could have been bringing in those iguanas, but no. They chose 16 people, and some of those 16 people were so smart, they were coming to some of our boys and say, go get the iguanas and I'll give you $2 for the iguana. Thank God some of those boys said, no, I'm not that desperate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the backward thinking. That's regressive, not progressive. Ladies and gentlemen, we intend, and we know you are going to put us back in with enough of us that we can get things done, not when you're sitting in opposition. And I'm saying to you all, those in Georgetown, those in West Bay, don't just send Mr. Bush and Cap and myself by ourselves. Send us with Johnny. Send us with the Georgetowners. If we get us there, we can do things and do things for you. And the Bordentowners, we need our people there so that we can do things. Just on Watercourse Road, let us tell you how we can help you. You have some space around the back of your yard. You can build as simple a thing as a chicken coop. We have 2 people on Watercourse Road doing so much eggs that they can't sell them fast enough. There's a market for that. As simple as it may be, there's someone that may not be able to go out and do much. We get you the layers, we set you up with them, and then you start to make your money. And then in the future you want to buy, you buy them. but there is a market for those type of things. As simple as it may sound. I went to a gentleman's yard the other day and I see this thing around the back of his house. And he said, that's my chicken coop. I says, what you do with the eggs? He says, Foster's and Kirk's buy them, and he says, I can't supply them with enough. So that tells me that there's a market. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to be innovative. We have to think outside the box, but we have to help you help yourself. Very simple. Vegetables, fruits, different things can be grown on a little piece of land. The former principal for West Bay Primary, Mr. Crawford, is retired. He took me up on a little house lot smaller than this. And he has all kinds of things that he's taken down to the supermarkets and selling. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to start to help ourselves. We will help you help yourself, that you don't have to worry about asking anybody for anything. We're going to help you help yourself up. If you look in our manifesto, ladies and gentlemen, you see where this is time for West Bay to get a civic center. A lot of people assume that the town hall, the building there, is a civic center. It's not. We need something specific built. We need something that we can organize outings for the old elderly, that in the daytime, in the evening time, they want to go sit down and play bingo, or if they want to go there and just congregate and listen to music or chat and just get together and talk about old times, we have to make things for our elderly to be active and get together. Ladies and gentlemen, when we hear our people coming to us and telling us that they've gone to the hospital, our elderly and our young children, and they're given the runaround, can't get this, can't get that, it has to stop. Anybody who is elderly should be able to walk in there, here's my card, and just take care of them. We make enough money in this country to take care of our elderly and our children. Plain and simple. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want you all to understand something. Let us again look at how this PPM government operates. It's all about the photograph. It's all about the soundbite. They came West Bay after I highlighted the fact that our firemen, you walked into the fire station and there was mold around the AC unit. So all of a sudden, they're going to fix up the fire station. And you don't have to believe me. Go to the fire station, drive around. The doors can't even open. The doors cannot go up and down. If they open them up, they can't close them. If they close them, they can't open them. Or they fixed up inside, or they say, but that they made the country believe that they had did so much at the West Bay fire station. Ladies and gentlemen, this is typical of the PPM. Everything is done piecemeal, and it's done just to get a photograph and to get a soundbite that they did something. And at the end of the day, they've done nothing to help you all. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen. When I stood in Parliament and I said to them, are we going to give a Caymanian a shot at the fire chief? Yes, there will be no one. 2 months later, here comes, they hire some Englishman. No, they just FOI'd this gentleman's qualifications. All he was before was a senior fire officer someplace and a training officer. He's been here, and when he's asked about a succession plan, he can't do a succession plan without job descriptions. He's been to more training courses in the last 18 months since he's been here than any other fireman that they should be preparing to take over his spot. And what he has done is typical. You divide and conquer. Those that are qualified in the fire service, you got 8 or 12 young people who have studied and got themselves degrees. No, because they'll take over too quick. The 3 years he gets to spend here in the sunshine is not enough. So what he does is pick somebody that doesn't have any qualifications, is sending them on a little course here, a little course there, whereas the deputy governor went in the compass, and I quoted it in Parliament, he said those who have bettered themselves will get first shot at promotion. That's not being done. Why? This man that they've brought in is making sure that he gets to stay here longer. It will stop under our government, ladies and gentlemen. All this grandstanding by people they bring in on contracts, it has to stop. Our own can do the job. Look around the country. Look at when they put Caymanians in positions. Many years, ladies and gentlemen, we've had our Caymanians. When we've been given a chance, we've done a good job. But no, it must be from overseas. Nothing against anyone, but this is Cayman. We must look out for our own first. Plain and simple, ladies and gentlemen. Just to show you how good this fire chief is. He goes overseas. He goes to an establishment that sells boats. A gentleman says to him, that is not the boat you need for the Cayman Islands. It is no good for the Cayman Islands. What does he do? He buys the boat. If you have any rough seas, we go have to rescue the boat. The rescue boat is of no use to us, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to fight for our own. The time has come for us to stand up. And ladies and gentlemen, you all hold us accountable. We've been in the opposition the last 3 years. We have fought, we have begged, we have asked. Now put us on the government side so we can do what we need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I sat there at the forum on the radio and I listened carefully on the television. And once again, this is what amazes me. I didn't bring it up. The gentleman brought it up and he said, and I know there's a lady here who wants me to say this, there was a march that was arranged against something called the TILEPs. Those of you who are paying attention, you may have recently heard about the rich report that they do not want to release. The premier did not want to release it, then the governor backed him. Of course, you know, they are like two bottom cheeks. They're always together. Ladies and gentlemen, it's plain and simple. Why is it that they don't want that rich report given to us, or so that they cannot afford it before the election? Because it will identify the TILEPs are about to kill us. These are 1,500 people that should have been rolled over. Simple. Their time was up. Go. And if you're good, you come back in a year. If we have not filled the post with a Caymanian. But there was a march arranged, which I was part of it. The Lion, Paul Rivers, and Mervyn Smith, and Arden and Ezard. Mr. Bush was dealing with his case. So he told me, go ahead and represent your people. Ladies and gentlemen, all of a sudden, like he said it, they were called to caucus with the PPM. And they told the PPM what they wanted. And that was why they decided not to take part in the march. And according to a lady who's here, her signature, the paper with her signature was not given to us. Okay? Now, it is obvious that whatever they told the PPM to do was not right, because we're now going to get in trouble for it. So that is one issue. Is that the type of leadership you want? Because I told them the TILEPs could not work. This man here had put me on the immigration board, and I sat there for 4 years. I knew the board. I knew it could not work. The minute you gave those people that break, they were going to get permanent residence and then status. And what's going to happen? When your children come back from college, that's the type of jobs they wanted to start at. They don't want to give us a top job. They say we have to work our way up. No problem. We are willing to work our way up. But all of a sudden, those 1,500 people, they got us blocked because they know how PR. Is that the type of leadership you want, ladies and gentlemen? That they told the PPM what they wanted in it, and guess what? Here's another part. There's a section, or crew in Bordentown and Eastern and Northside called the Alliance, which Ezard and Arden is a part of. Ezard and Arden had said what they said about our representatives here, or the same young man who sat beside me, Mr. Mervyn, and called them all kind of names on the radio. So, I said in the wrap-up, they keep saying I. It is not I, ladies and gentlemen. When you go to that parliament, it's we. Like what Mr. Bush explained to them. When he bring the motion and Cap second the motion, Cap has brought the motion as well. Mr. Bush can't do it by himself. I couldn't bring my motions by myself. I was a rookie. I needed Mr. Bush to guide me on how to word it, how to put it properly, so that it would be good. And believe you me, I was happy and proud for his help, because I saw him sit down and help the PPM, who had 6 lawyers, and tell them that is 8 lawyers, sorry, that that's not going to work. And every time he was right. And yet they want to talk, say he's not educated. Ladies and gentlemen, he's twice as smart as them. So now, they come here and tell you, say, vote for me and send me up there. So guess what? You don't want to work with us because you're running against us. So when you have them run about West Bay and say, oh, vote for me, I could go work with McKeeva. Or vote for me in my section, I could go work with Bernie. No, if they want to work with us, they would have come and help us. Don't make them fool you all. Do not be fooled. We got fooled the last time. And this is the final piece, ladies and gentlemen, for you to put the jigsaw together. So you can't go town and work with the Alliance. You can't work with the CDP. Who's there left for you to work with? Their PPM. And the last time one of your teammates, the Honorable Tara Rivers, went up, one sitting and she was over there, 1 week and she was with the PPM. They're all PPM. They said, like what Cap said one time, if you walk like a duck, you smell like a duck, you look like a duck, and you sound like a duck, you're a duck. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important election. I beg you all, do not be fooled by these people walking about here by themselves, coming knocking down your doors. Some of them is even beating down a church door. I never see more Christianity and tears in my life. And yet they're walking about telling lies. Ladies and gentlemen, please, you know what you get when you get us. Who took on the police commissioner with crime? Bernie. Who took on the education department with the special education needs? Bernie. And it was always under the guidance of those 2 gentlemen here who sat beside me. And what irks me, ladies and gentlemen, people do not know the man they call the Cap. When I say that, there's a lot of times when I would get hot and he would touch my leg and says, calm down. And he said, look at it in this way. And when I would do it always came out right. Ladies and gentlemen, some people can get up. I'm not one of those that can get up in front of this mic, and I'm very good at it. The night on the forum, I was in awe of my 2 opponents. Oh, they could speak so well. They could speak so good. I'm not that good, ladies and gentlemen, but what I will tell them to do, I see when I'm putting up stuff on Facebook with binoculars, but looking for Mervyn and Bernie. I am going to tell her, since she needs binoculars to look, walk into West Bay Primary School. Look on the hall. When Bernie Bush was the PTA president with a good crew behind me, I went to McKeeva Bush and Johnny Jefferson Jr. and Tom Jefferson, and they built the hall for us. Take a good look. I want you to walk in. You don't need no binoculars. It's a big building. Look at the library. Walk into the classroom and feel the nice air conditioning. Once again, you don't have to look far. Now I'm looking to see people that can't work together. When we had the PTA there, we worked together. We didn't call the press to try to impress people by being up on Facebook every 5 minutes or being up in the newspaper. Ladies and gentlemen, right in this neighborhood here, if I wanted to do it, but I refused to, between that corner down there and Goatyard, I could tell you 6 young people that Bernie has paid for to go to UCCI. But nobody has to know that. No, why? Because they do it because it's the right thing to do. Because guess what? Like what Mr. Bush always said, his dream was to be either a school teacher or a lawyer, but they blocked him out of school. That will not happen under Bernie. Anybody who has passed it has ambition and they want to go to school, ladies and gentlemen, they must go to school. And those of you who are in positions in certain jobs now, you need to upgrade yourself. We have to, ladies and gentlemen, help you upgrade yourself. If you have a bachelor's now and you may need a master's to be promoted, we have to help you in some way, work with you, work with your company, for you to get that master's. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to upgrade our people constantly, but you also have to want it as well. And ladies and gentlemen, before I go, I'm telling you, from the first time I jumped into this political arena, I have cried and I have begged for a vocational institute. Now we have many buildings. I am saying we need vocational programs. Ladies and gentlemen, I hear people talking, oh, I could get everybody back to work. So you're going to put people to work and they're not ready to work, so they go to work and they fire them after a week, and you look on their resume, I was fired from such and such a place. We get those people raised, ladies and gentlemen. So when they get the job, they will stay in the job. Plain and simple, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing we have to look at the Ritz. Approved under who? Mr. Bush. The Kimpton, approved under who? Mr. Bush. I was talking to a billionaire named Richard Branson, and I said he owns an airline called Virgin Atlantic. I bumped into him at a thing in London. Myself and Winston Conley was in London, and he was in the place where I was, and I sent him my card. He came over and he says, hey, how's the big Bush doing? Now you imagine this is a billionaire, and he remembered Mac. He says, he's a good man. He thinks outside the box. He understands business. Now, when you have a billionaire or one of the most famous men in the world can say that about early leader, boy, some people are jealous for that, you know. And ladies and gentlemen, I said to him, what will it take for me to forget Virgin Atlantic to fly into Cayman? He says, very simple. Extend your runway and build 2 or 3 more hotels, because I want to bring people there. He says, he comes to Cayman often, you know. Last time he was here, a stingray put a suck mark on him. He couldn't go home to his wife. Stingray hickey. But ladies and gentlemen, those are the things that when you have to be outside the box, and when those type of people can talk about our leader, they think outside the box. And he has a set of people around him now that are ready to work and let us put this country back where it should be. And the funny thing is, I keep hearing the PPM saying they brought the country back, but wait, when they got the country, it was in a surplus. So how could they bring the country back? But they had to smoothen thing out. They know how to. The only people they had to go and kiss was the people up in England. And I tell you something, you all may not want to hear this. Most of them don't mean us well, and you all better wake up to that. Most people don't want to say it, but it's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of them, not all, a lot of them do not like the fact that this country is having success. Ladies and gentlemen, and last but not least, also think about this. There are outside people who wants to influence our culture, wants to influence our godliness. Ladies and gentlemen, it cannot go on so. We have to stand for what we believe in. We have to stand for what has brought us here. I hear everybody taking success, the banking industry. I hear the tourism industry about the success we've had is because of them. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not so. The success we've had is because of God. Because we were a godly country. All of us are not born again Christians. All of us are not baptized, but we still have godly principles and we believe in God strongly. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to stand up and make sure that that is not touched. And under this government, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Eugene, West Bay Central, Johnny Jefferson, West Bay South, the Honorable McKeeva Bush, West Bay West, and ladies and gentlemen, me, Bernie Bush, West Bay North. This is the team you want to represent and fight for you all. Thank you all very much for coming out.
All right, there you hear from Mr. Bernie Bush, your candidate for West Bay North. Let's hear it for Bernie. I must say that we do have a very good team put together, not a full slate, but we got a good slate of representatives from West Bay straight to Bordentown, and I hope and pray that we are successful on the 24th. I'm sure we will. What do you think? That's right. And you know, this one man, one vote, it's a lot of confusion going on, and I know a lot of people have been saying it to me on the streets that, you know, I feel so bad I can't vote for Mike this time. But you still can do that, ladies and gentlemen. You still can do that, and how you do that is by voting for Bernie in the North, by voting for Captain Eugene in the Central, and by voting for John Jefferson Jr. in the South. That is how you're going to help or that's how you're going to vote for Mr. Bush if you can't physically vote for him on the day. Okay? This is, you know, one man, one vote. I call it one man, one confusion. That's exactly what it is. Exactly. We're going to call the next candidate to the mic tonight is Captain Eugene. Captain Eugene is the representative for West Bay West. West Bay Central, sorry, Central. West Bay Central, I better say it right. West Bay Central, Captain Eugene. Don't get it wrong. Oh, he got a strong following. Everywhere he go. Captain Eugene, welcome to the podium.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Shane, I'm in Central, West Bay Central. All right. No, just to remind everybody, I'm in West Bay Central. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. It is really great to see such a nice gathering, a large gathering, and we cannot emphasize enough how important it is to have your support. We would be helpless without your support. So ladies and gentlemen, remember, vote straight. Vote for Honorable McKeeva, West Bay West. Mr. Barney Bush, West Bay North. John Jefferson Jr., West Bay South. And then West Bay Central, Captain Eugene. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the countdown is on. We're almost there, and with your help, we will make it flying through the gate with flying colors. So keep us in your prayers and keep supporting us. We need your support. Ladies and gentlemen, the cost of living in Cayman continues to climb. One group of people that is greatly affected is our senior citizens who no longer have a steady income. It is very difficult to survive on just a fraction of their usual income and to maintain a lifestyle that they've become accustomed to. A big part of this process is proper planning and preparation for this phase of life. A service that our CDP government will offer with retirement planning sessions and budgeting and insights into staying productive. In the current pension regime, the private sector and the government defined contribution program, pension withdrawals are dictated by the amount of contribution the individual makes during their working life. However, a possible reform is the government-defined benefit program, which allows a payment of $400 to those who have served a minimum of 10 years. We would recommend that this base amount be increased to $750 to $800 a month to better assist our elderly. Another option is to continue to hire retirees on a part-time basis so that they can earn extra money, which is not subject to pension deductions. There are many of us who still can do a lot of these jobs. Your mind, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't shut off at age 65. These folks are a wealth of knowledge, have more patience and better communication skills, and generally are loyal to their employers. All good traits to have in the workplace. And just saying this now, I understand that my opponent in West Bay Central has some campaigners going around telling the voters not to vote for me because I'm going to cut the government assistance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the ones who are proposing it. Don't vote for me. That they should vote for Cathy Ann because she's going to increase it. Ladies and gentlemen, Cathy Ann cannot increase anything. She's running alone as an independent, and without your team, you cannot get anything accomplished. So I don't know, just want to put their minds at rest. Ladies and gentlemen, the CDP is committed to assisting this vulnerable sector, the senior citizens, the economy, in an effort to ensure retain their dignity and sense of purpose in the later years of their lives. After having contributed so much to the development of this beautiful island we call the Cayman Island. Unemployment is another scourge on our economy that we must address. There are reported 2,200 people out of work throughout the island. There must be a system in place, ladies and gentlemen, to such a proposal of Human Resources Authority. That's what we propose to do. That employers respect and will serve their needs to fulfill the vacancies with the Cayman law, according to the Cayman law. We must remember that we as Caymanians, employers who take out work permits are a part of the problem, so we can't simply complain about them. We have to examine our own business practices and see how we can help the overall situation, which is a national issue. We want to create farming entrepreneurs who are self-employed and who have a sense of independence and pride in providing for themselves and their families. We are in the process of identifying land now in West Bay Central to accommodate this project. In addition, we are considering better use of the Heritage Park space to have 2 buses stop by at least once or twice a week for our local farmers and craft market. It's just sitting there, ladies and gentlemen. We use it once a year. We need to create some employment, give the entrepreneurs an opportunity to do something that makes them proud of themselves. The work permit situation. Immigration boards should be abandoned and replaced with an administrative process which would allow the department to focus on their main job, which is border control. In that way, a properly equipped Human Resource Authority would be able to take on the employment-related tasks that these immigration boards are now doing. This authority can do what is necessary for our citizens, is secure and maintain a job for them. The 2015-16 budget allocated $588,370 to job placement services. That's on page 657 of the budget. Why don't we partner with the private sector who have the expertise? There are numerous recruitment agencies on the island that successfully place persons, usually in the financial sector. Unfortunately, they tend to place foreign workers in the Cayman market. Why can't they have an extended service where they are developing the Caymanian applicants or working with NWDA's development program to ensure that more Caymanians are ready for the job market and placed in the job market as well? This authority will work closely with the immigration department to suggest work permit approvals as necessary. But immigration boards will not have to be diverted from their proper job of border protection to deal with the day-to-day employment assessment. Ladies and gentlemen, there's been a steady increase of work permits from 18,000 in 2002 to over 23,000 in 2016. With the unemployment rate at an estimated 2,200 persons, there must be a way to match some of those work permit openings with our local people. There are around 600 clerical workers, 1,300 managers, and over 5,000 service workers. Ladies and gentlemen, the CDP will ensure that we establish the proper protocols to have this new system in place to better protect our people in our country. If nowhere else, you should be able to get a job in your own country. Education, ladies and gentlemen, is a vital component of any modern and growing economy. As a country, Caymanians have traditionally made education a high priority. With few opportunities here on island in the 1950s and 60s, the seamen traveled and were educated at the highest levels as engineers and ship's captains. Only in the past decade or so, we have seen the decline in standards, and we have to ensure that the teachers and parents are fully engaged with solutions to this national issue, ladies and gentlemen. Although CIFEC is in place at the high school level, there is more need for a technical and vocational school, especially to use the underutilized resources already on the island. Accordingly, in the 2015-16 budget, this cost the country $2.5 million. There is no need to spend excessive amounts of money, so we have to look at ways to be resourceful and save as much as we can as a government that already spends too much. Most people are not aware that there is a state-of-the-art facility in Northward. There is a vocational center there that is not being fully used by the prisoners. Most of the schools also have fully equipped classrooms for trades, including kitchens, which could be utilized at nights and weekends. If there is even a minimal subsidy from government, we could partner with the private firms to start apprenticeship programs, such as what Superior Auto has done. Corporations are more inclined these days to be good corporate citizens, and we would easily be able to tie this to a work permit requirement, as it is with the PR applicants, where 35 hours per year are supposed to be spent training Caymanians. We have at our disposal hundreds of hours per work permit holder that could be volunteered. There are programs such as Strengths Finder, where children can be assessed at an earlier age and put on a traditional or TVET track. But there seems to be a negative stigma on this type of work. But I want to stress here and now, ladies and gentlemen, that these are very challenging jobs. And have you ever seen the calculations needed for an electrical or plumbing exam? Students in these classes have to be strong in math, English, and science, and so on. So yes, I would strongly support trade schools using our existing resources. Early childhood. If children are not learning the basic building blocks properly then they are spent preparing for the additional information they are taught each year. Literacy has become a scathing indictment on our education system. Over and over, we hear our children cannot read and write. How can this be? Aren't our teachers being held accountable for this? How can our system continue to allow children to pass on to other grades if they cannot at least read and write to a high standard? We will work with the teachers to ensure that they have the tools that they need to build this crucial foundation. We will put programs in place to improve the literacy rates immediately, bearing in mind that there is room for adult literacy courses as well. Children start off at this disadvantage. They are being set up to fail. If they are made to continually feel that they are inadequate, then they will not dream the big dreams. They will not see the opportunities for success. They will often be led into delinquent and criminal behavior, and that affects all of us, ladies and gentlemen. So we have to recognize the links between education and lifestyle choices. As a government, we must give these children, who are our future, the best starting point for success. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you tonight of the commitment of the Cayman Islands Democratic Party government, the party of the people, to continue to deliver a high level of service and representation that you have come to expect. I leave you tonight with our mantra. The meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. God willing, on May 24th, we will see you at the polls when you come to elect your new government, the Cayman Islands Democratic Party government. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you and God bless.
Let's hear it again for West Bay Central. Captain Eugene. Elizabeth, I didn't get it wrong that time. But this thing is so confused, you can't help but get a bit mixed up sometimes. But one thing we don't want you to get mixed up with is May 24th. May 24th, you make sure you put your X, you look up when you get into the polling station, you look for that picture. They're going to have pictures on the ballots and the team that they represent, which will be the CDP. So you look for Captain Eugene in Central, and you give him your vote. Forget about whoever else is on that ballot. There's only one in Central, and that's Captain Eugene, the one who's been there for you the last 12 years or so. The newcomers, the time will come at some time, but not May 24th. No, Bobo, not today. Not May 24th. They're all good people. We love them all. We're all Caymanians. Let me say that. There's no hate. I see hate on the other side, but there's no hate coming from this platform or the CDP. There's love. But this hate politics that I see them going on with, and every meeting that they have, they're going to say something nasty and lies, the good liars. They need to stop. We're all one people. We're all one Caymanians, and we're all from West Bay. Especially that, this got to stop. And we wish them well, but like I said, not this May 24th. Some other time, not now. Also, quickly before we call up the next speaker, the next candidate, just want to say quickly about the polling stations. on the polling stations where you have to go to vote. And I'm quite sure that some of us are still confused about where we got to go. If not, and that's good. If you know where you got to go, that's good. But just quickly, we're going to give you a name of the polling stations for each constituency. We have for John Jefferson, sorry, don't mean to call you Johnny in the public like this, but John Jefferson Jr., Johnny, in the south, his polling station is going to be at John Gray Church Hall up there in West Bay. Coming down the line, Captain Eugene is going to be at 8 Bush. Captain Eugene in West Bay Central, 8 Bush, Plainfield. The hall, the office there. Let's go to the 8 Bush, look for Captain Eugene, put your X there, and walk out of there. And the next day we're gonna have a big party, don't worry. Next we have Mr. Bernie Bush. And North, West Bay North, you have to go to First Assembly Church on Finch Drive, right up the road, not too far from here. And then, for yours truly, Mr. Bush, you're going to go to John A. Primary School and put your X there for him. Forget about everybody else on that ballot. Put your X down for Mike. West Bay West, Captain Eugene, West Bay Central, Bernie Bush, West Bay North, and Mr. John Jefferson Jr. in West Bay South. You look for that name and you put your X there. I just want to say before we call up Johnny, you know, he got tag team, or I would have to say triple team the other night on the forum. He was in the middle and you had 2 or 3 to the left and 2 or 3 to the right. But I can tell you that he stood his ground. He stood his ground well up in there that night because he was surrounded by hate and people that just don't like the CDP for whatever reasons they have. But Johnny, I must say, you stood your ground. Well done. Well done, guys. And before I call Johnny up, you know, the Minister of Education, she's bragging so much about that wonderful education system she have there. And I was just wondering, if it was so great and so grandeur, why don't you take your own child and put it in there, or put her or him in there? And you know, that's how you prove to yourself and to your people that it is all that you say it is. Why do you have to have your child go to a private school and then you're trying to fix the public schools? If it's doing so good, I would put my child in the public school. I don't see why I would have to put my child elsewhere if it's doing so great. What do you think? Is that right or wrong? Don't stay silent, because you know what I'm saying is true. I don't know what I'm saying is true. She should put it there, him or her there. No disrespect at all, but that's what I would do. That's what I would do. So, like Johnny said, if she beats him, there's something wrong with that. And I got to say that because West Bay, she have not did anything for you guys. You went to Georgetown, and no offense to the Georgetowners, but she joined the Georgetowners. You ever see West Bay go to Georgetown and get split up? We stick together wherever we go, and that's what she should have done. Like Mike says, she was the glue, or she is the glue that stuck that government together for the 4 years. And just imagine how much we could have got done in West Bay if we had 4 of them working for us down here. But no, that wasn't good enough. Yeah. Well, of course we know that you know, like I said, they tagged up well on Johnny the other night, and you could tell that, you know, our old friend Paul and Merwin and Tara, I'm sure they had a little quick conversation somewhere, a little quick get together and say, okay, this is the plan, this is what we're going to do, because they were pressing John a lot up in there, but he stood his ground. Anyway, we want to welcome Mr. John Jefferson Jr., your candidate for West Bay South. Your only candidate in West Bay South. Let's give it for John Jefferson Jr.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. one thing Tara has been able to do is that she has got me riled up. I mean, I have never met somebody who can talk so much and say so little. When she finished talking, you ask yourself, what did she say now? I mean, last night, for example, I heard a figure here tonight, 2,200 people are unemployed, basically Caymanians. Last night were 1,400, according to her. She doesn't have a clue. She doesn't have a clue what the true position is, okay? And she has this attitude about all these things she had put in place, the National Work Development Agency and this one. And ladies and gentlemen, call the National Development Agency if you get somebody to answer the phone. And this is the agency that's supposed to help you find employment here in the Cayman Islands, okay? It's not working. It's not working. Ladies and gentlemen, we have, I think, 13 days to go. Believe you me, I am running as hard as I can. And we gotta cross the finish line together, okay? We gotta have a party on 24th. We gotta have a party here in West Bay and the Cayman Islands, because we have 11 candidates running through this island, and I have the firm faith that every one of our candidates is gonna be elected. All right? And once that happens, then we are the next government. The Honorable McKeeva Bush will be your next premier. And what we want, ladies and gentlemen, like I think Captain Bernard was mentioned, or Sean, you can't get everything done in 4 years. You can't. But you got to get something done. We start a program. We start getting our people back to work. You know, the first thing I would do, or recommend we do as a government, is have a job fair. You know, see exactly who's unemployed, what areas, what the qualifications are, okay? And then invite the private sector to join us in finding employment for our people. You see, in the Cayman Islands, we have to work together. We have to live together, right? And there's room for all of us, okay? Caymanians, non-Caymanians, whatever. I personally am not expat, but I'm pro-Caymanian, okay? And that's the position I'm going to take. Now, last night, for example, when the question was asked about trade schools, I was surprised. The Minister of Education and Employment, Mervyn, Paul, and Kathy Ann said no. They would not support a trade school so we can train some of our young people to take their rightful place in this society. Their concept is that you got to build this $1 million building. That is far from the truth. Even if we get started with a few, 12, 15, 20 people at a time, and put our people back to work. We have to make sure that it's a concerted effort, that we come together and do what we have to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have young people who are unemployed. We have seniors in this country who are still healthy, still have a desire to work. Look at the experience they have, okay? We have to make sure that our seniors have a place, a rightful place to continue in this country. And one of the areas that I think I would recommend that we employ them, in our schools, public schools. Every one of those classrooms need an assistant. Why not employ your people who are now turning 60, 65, who they are throwing out of their office, and put them in the classroom? They are parents, they are grandparents, they have the experience, they have the love for our children, so put them there. I think that would be an excellent place to place some of our seniors if they have a desire to do so. But you know, when you turn 65, it doesn't mean you put you at the past and then you wait till you die. I mean, I'm 66 years old, and I tell you the truth, I believe I'm going to be here at least until I'm 100. You know, that is my goal. Aunt Julia died when she was 106, almost 107 years old. I told Aunt Julia, I said, what you doing, Aunt Julia? You live until you're about 110. And then I'm going to try and beat you by 10, so I'll be 120. So ladies and gentlemen, I have no desire to leave here anytime soon. All right, so we have to, like I said, we have to look out for our seniors to make sure that they have a meaningful life, especially in their senior years. Many of them are very, very lonesome, very lonely. And I know when I go out do my visitation and I sit down with our seniors, it's amazing how they welcome your company, you know. And we need to be in a position where we can offer them outlets where they can socialize, they can get together as a group and do things that are healthy and positive as far as they're concerned, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, the other area that we need to pay attention to is our ex-prisoners. We have ladies and gentlemen who are Caymanians who have gone to prison. But once they pay their penalty, they must come back and be a part of our society, be a part of our community. And you know, government has the National Roads Authority, it has the Public Works Department, which needs to take care of a lot of maintenance. Put them to work. The trade school would be a perfect place to put them. Train them as electricians, plumbers, air conditioning maintenance people, you know, so they can make a living in this country. Everybody deserves to make a living. And ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you that once the Cayman Democratic Party is elected on May 24th, and in my mind, there's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of time. It is just a matter of time before that happens, okay? And the hotels. I mean, you go, I've never been to the Kimpton. I intend to go because I want to see for firsthand what is going on in those places, right? But I intend to sit down with them, and our government intend to sit down with your human resources people in those areas and say, what's your plan for hiring our people? You know? And you don't need a degree, ladies and gentlemen, to be a bellboy. Or open the door, a pool person, you know, where you carry towels and that type of thing. And those are good jobs. Those are good jobs that our people would be glad to fill. So we're going to make sure that there's a balance. We're going to restore a balance in this country, okay? We have to also make sure that our people get an opportunity to be trained. I was talking to a young lady the other day at one of our meetings who's in that business. You know, he said, you know, John, I had these young ladies come to my office to seek my assistance as far as finding a job. So they came with flip-flops on and that type of thing. When you're talking about competing for a job, you gotta look good. You gotta smell good. You gotta speak well. So we can train our people how to handle an interview, right? So when you go in, you impress your potential employer. So you get an opportunity to do what you have a desire to do as far as employment is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special country here known as the Cayman Islands. We probably have in the region of 130, I would say, different nationalities that work and live here. And that is all positive. That is all positive. But what we have to do, we have to make sure that there is a balance. There is a balance, okay? Where our people are working, they're working, and we all contribute to our economy here in the Cayman Islands, where we all make a living, right? So I am very excited about the possibility and the future that we have, that we're working towards as far as our people are concerned. And ladies and gentlemen, Tyra Rivers do not deserve a second chance. Do not deserve a second chance. Okay? I mean, you ask her, what has she done for West Bay? Nothing. I hear all kind of horror stories about our parents going to her for scholarships. Okay? I can't help you. What do you mean you can't help me? You're the Minister of Education. Make it happen. Make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. She cut scholarships, you know. One of the things that I'm gonna propose, because from time I was there in 1988, the scholarship amount was CI 20,000 max. What happens today if you go to school in the United States on a scholarship, and you get a government scholarship for 20,000 CI dollars, you're gonna have to go out and borrow money to supplement your students' tuition. We have to increase that at least to 40,000 US. Okay, from 20,000 CI to 32,000 CI, in order to make sure that our people, our young people who go abroad, have the funds that they need to equip themselves to come back here and make a contribution. Oh my goodness, I was not aware of that they had reduced the amount from 20,000 down to something like $10,000 per year. That is, trust me, that is brutal. That is criminal. That is criminal, you know. And the other thing to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the Cayman Democratic Party is the party of the people. I get along with everybody. Okay? I can hobnob with the rich, the poor, or whatever. But our people, the average Caymanian in this country, needs the kind of leadership where if they have a problem, they can find somebody who can resolve that problem. Okay? If you need something, you have somebody you can go to and say, this is the situation. I need your help. Okay? It appears to me over the last 4 years that the Cayman Islands was on automatic pilot. Nobody was in charge. Okay? I had an occasion when I had to call the Minister of Tourism. I called, he wouldn't answer the phone. I left a message, he wouldn't return my call. I emailed him, he didn't even acknowledge that he had even got my email. Okay? The PPM government has no interest in you as Caymanians, the average Caymanian. You know why? You don't have nothing that they need. Nothing that they need. They look over the special interest group. Their song is that the last 4 years have been the best 4 years in this country. For who? For who? For who? No, I know it wasn't the best 4 years for myself, and I'm quite sure you can say the same thing. It wasn't. We deserve better, and tomorrow must be better than today. And I don't know how you're gonna get that if you elect these people you see on this platform. Okay? Keep it simple. Keep it simple. They want to confuse you. That's the whole idea why they brought in this new system. They want to confuse you. But keep it simple. What you do, make sure that you check that voters list and see what area you are registered in. If you're in West Bay West, you're in McKeeva's area. If you're in West Bay North, you're in Bernie area. If you're in Central, you're in Caps area. And if you're in West Bay South, you are in my area, right? And when you go to the polls, you have one vote. One vote. I tell my people as I go there, I said, the only thing you need to do when you go to the polls, and they give you that ballot, look for CDP. The CDP candidate on your ballot, that's who you vote for. If you want a future, that is what you have to do. Okay? We are a family. We are a family. Okay? We work together. Mike and I worked together for 12 years. Him and Eugene and Bernie has worked together now for 4 years. Cap was there for 16. They worked together for the common good of this country and its people. And that is what you need to continue. I have no desire going anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen, to make a living. And you shouldn't have to either. I think it's a shame when our people are talking about going to the UK to make a living, to survive. That is totally unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. Okay? This is our country. Let's make sure that we have our rightful place here, right at home. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited about the future. I am excited about this election. And trust me, on May 24th, which is a week from next Wednesday, when the people go to the polls, I know they're going to do what is right. They're going to do what is right. The Premier, Alden, he thought he introduced this system, thought he would get rid of Mike. But you know what will happen? He can get rid of himself. That's what's going to happen. He's now dodging, looking over his shoulders. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Dennis Tucker beat him at Red Bay. That's what's going to happen to him. He got beat at Red Bay. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited about what is going to happen on May 24th. But we're not taking nothing for granted. We're not taking anything for granted. But we want you to spread the word. Spread the word. In West Bay, it's CDP. In Georgetown, it's CDP. In Bordentown, it's CDP. Okay? Because that is where your future lies. Ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to being in a position where I can make a contribution to clean up the mess that this country is in. As far as unemployment, as far as crime, as far as our educational system, as far as tourism is concerned. You know, we need, as Caymanians, we need to feel good about ourselves again. We need to be in a position where we feel proud to be a Caymanian. You know, when you travel overseas, let me give you a little insight here. When you travel overseas and somebody said to you, where are you from? And you say the Cayman Islands, all of a sudden you were put up here. And that person that you were put up here, you know why? The Cayman Islands have an exceptional reputation. Right? Exceptional reputation. And we want to keep it that way. And in order to do that, you need to put in place the four here in West Bay. The Honorable McKeeva Bush, he's going to be the Premier. And he chooses whatever ministry he wants. And the three of us then will fill in the gap. Same thing in Georgetown and Bordentown. But ladies and gentlemen, you can't vote for independents. What are independents capable of doing? It is obvious that they don't know how the parliament works. You can go in there as an individual, you can beat up your gums as much as you want. You will not get anything done. You know why? Because you don't have a team. You don't have a team. And if you don't have a team, you will not get nothing done. What we want to be in a position not only have a team, but have a majority. So when we put something before the House, the floor, we know we have the votes to take it through. Okay? And ladies and gentlemen, that is the best choice you have in this upcoming election. You have the vote CDP. And like I said, I am excited about this future. You should be as well. Let's work together. Let's vote together. And let's make sure that our future is better after May 24th than it is today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless you, and good night.
Let's hear it again for West Bay South candidate John Jepson Jr. You want to remember the motorcade coming up on Monday the 15th, starting at 8 Bush, playing field. Come a bit early so we can get you guys dressed up, ready to go. All right. And also, just want to quickly just want to acknowledge Mr. Mike Adams in the house over here, Georgetown South. If there's any Georgetowners down here, that's your man for West Bay South. And also his wife, Miss Lisa. How you doing? Good night. Georgetown South, that's what I said. Well, there you go again, more confusion. One man, one confusion. My apologies if I say West Bay South. I don't think I did. I think these guys are confused. But anyway, Mike Adams is Georgetown South. And Johnny, for sure, I know Georgetown is West Bay South. And again, people in Georgetown have been saying to me too when I go to Georgetown, they say, you know, boy, I wish I could vote for Mike. And how you do that, Georgetown, is you vote for Mike, you vote for Miss Tessa. I can't give you the exact areas right now. I know Mike is South, Tessa, East, Jonathan, West, Perlina, North, Denniston, Red Bay. That's how you vote for McKeeva Bush in Georgetown. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. It's no sense, like Johnny said, sending 3 or 4 of them up there. We're not going to get nothing done. And if you can't form the government, we've lost the election. Never mind we getting into 4 down here, but we lost the election. We can't form the government. That's how I see it. So make sure, wherever you are in Bordentown, you got Robert Borden and Stafford Berry. That's our candidates in Bordentown, so you vote for them. And of course, the ones from Georgetown I just mentioned, and everything you see up here behind me. You vote for them. Vote for them. We're going to call the next speaker, the last speaker, your next premier. And I just, before we bring him up, I just want to say, why they hate him so much? Why do some hate him so much? My God, of all the good that McKeeva has done for us West Bayers and the whole country, huh? And they got the audacity to want to throw slurs at this man. What they should be talking about is the injustice he was served just a couple of years ago. Huh? How they wrongfully took him out of office. Huh? Wrongfully accused him of all kind of stuff that found out that it wasn't true. Okay? That's what they need to talk about. We should be rallying behind Mike. Every one of us should be doing that. And thanks to people like Mr. Mike Adams, Captain Eugene, and those guys that stuck with Mike. And of course, thank you. Because of us, the people, the little people that stuck with McKeeva Bush through those hard times. And we got it back, and we got it now, and we have it in the future coming up. Certainly we're going to have it on May 24th. We are on the verge of being a part of history. We're going to put Mr. Bush back at the next premier of the Cayman Islands. They wrongfully took him out, we're going to rightfully put him back in. Simple. And saying that, you know, time is getting on. So let me welcome you to the next premier of the Cayman Islands, Mr. Bush, our good cousin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my colleagues, and I want to thank my cousin, our chairman for the night. He can, yes. And want to thank my colleagues, particularly for bringing the issues tonight. And we have been keeping to the issues. Ladies and gentlemen, we hear some of the things that are being said on the opposition platform, our opposition. But, you know, they are minor candidates. I have no intention to follow it up. The country has too many problems. I need to spend time thinking about that day and night. I have no time to sit down and think what I'm going to answer them, because they don't deserve answering. And there are issues that we can address, and we will do that at times. The one thing is this thing that they keep talking about, the 30 years veterans. Well, there's only one 30-year veteran existing at this time, that's myself. But I am not concerned about their accusation that I haven't done anything for West Bay, as you heard a few mornings ago them talking about. Look, ladies and gentlemen, when I got elected in '84, I pushed to get certain things done. The fire station, they had planned to put the fire station up on the beach, somewhere about. And we said, no, we want it down here. And we got it. From the very beginning, the Wicksville project, where boats, you had to go all the way to get back. You couldn't launch a boat on this side. We built that. And of course it wasn't me one, I was just party to it. And I don't want to hear the PPM candidate down here talking about, well, I was there too. No, you were there, but you were sleeping. You had to shake the desk to wake her up to vote. But believe you me, at times, she could say that quick, even though she was sleeping. But just so those minor candidates understand, as Minister of Tourism, or as Minister of Social Services, we put in place, John and myself put in place, we founded the Golden Age home here in West Bay. That not something? We made additions to the school hall, or to the school classrooms. And we built the school hall, John and myself. We went on, we built the clinic. You didn't have any clinic, you didn't have anything like that down here. We implemented the very first housing program from 1992. Over 160 homes were built under that program. And the PPM in this last 4 years built none. Not one. Mike Adams built 97 in our 4 years. And people down here benefited from that. We put in place the very first after-school programs. Where were they? Where were they? We built 2 launching ramps. We built a seaside park in Bottomanu, Scholars Park, a public beach. Revitalization, you remember how bad Northwest Point Cemetery was? And Boson Bay was much better, except for those families that kept their plots. Well, we revitalized them. We built the cricket facility. We built 8 bush sports field. And as Minister of Sports, I put fields in every district and built the national stadium as well. We redeveloped the town hall field. When we got elected, the ballot, you know what we call ballot? But that sticky bush. It sometimes has prickles in it. We loaded, and the rock stones, you had to be careful. You weren't kicking rocks rather than a football. We redeveloped it with lights. We could have built a new post office just like other districts did. Cayman did for over $1 million. But why? Our post office is very historic. And we redeveloped that. Well, there's a lot of other things what used for, but the one good thing is we spent $300 and something thousand, and we still have a good post office. Basketball facilities. When Hurricane Ivan hit us, let me tell you, you know how bad it was, and we couldn't get to everybody, but we took care of a lot of people. The one thing I am proud of was the fact that when CNB got hit, they would have went under if I hadn't taken the bull by the horns and said, look, if CNB goes under because of government's claim, you're going to have thousands of people who are lost. And I took the licks for it. Can you imagine? You see, there's such a bunch of hypocrites, you know. You know that they have still cussing me for that. And one of the very first claims was who? Kurt Tibbetts. While I was insured with Dial and my mother was insured with Dial, and I couldn't save them because government just couldn't help everybody. So I lost, my mother lost what damage we had. But we saved Cayman National Bank. And you know what? Go in the papers back in the history, and they didn't like it, but I made them put it in the paper that they supported some of the things that I was doing. We assisted the churches. Yes. Well then, if they can finish them, why they criticize me for helping them for? And we even put sport facilities from the very early days, myself and John, in the churches. We put a jetty in Central West Bay and a new North Sound dock too. And you know what? I made sure that one of the persons who got status gave a large donation. Well, it was Dart, I don't mind saying that. $300,000 for the United Church to renovate their hall and build new youth facilities. Well, you know some of them not gonna say that, but that's a fact. I got another individual to give $400,000 for the Seamen's Hall. You're not gonna hear much about that. The Seamen are very, very, very supportive. Ladies and gentlemen, you might get a copy of this, and you will find that I have nothing to be ashamed of other than during my time, been there that long, yes, there has been some social deterioration, but if some of them had followed my advice, we would have been much better off. No, I was a communist, according to some of them. You know when we Bates cleaned up Barkers, you know they got on the radio and they said that I was paying each one $80,000 per year. And be you sure, as they got elected, they scrapped that, but 8 families suffered. Still suffers, because they stopped that. Now we hear they're going to make it a national area. We had already declared Barkers a national area. Ladies and gentlemen, we in our party understands what need is all about. We know what it means to be poor. We were not born with silver spoons. We believe in assisting people. If people are hurting, we believe that we should help them. That's where I come from. I was not born with a silver spoon. So when these ladies come here and tell you up here or anywhere else that I didn't do anything, are they really, really telling the truth? They know different. They have to know different because I did things for them too. But, you know, I always told my mother, sometimes it seems I was born with bad luck because no matter how much I do for some of them, they will still criticize me. So we believe that we are on the right track with our manifesto for the district and our national manifesto. Tara Rivers can say all that she wants to say. Education has not advanced the way that it should have advanced in the last 4 years. They had money, they had money, they had money. And what did they do? What did they do? Nada. You know what that means? Nada. That's what they did, nothing. They could have increased the old people benefit. They know that it takes more than $550 for an old person, especially if you got medical and you go to the hospital and you can't get it, you then got to go to the private stores to get it. And you know how costly it is. Medicines. They didn't do it because they don't care. I hear them talk, the same ones that criticize me for doing it, and I put it in our manifesto, and I pounded it, and I'm still pounding it. We are going to do so. You know them copycats come back now and say they can do something too. They can do something too. They are more, listen, you know, in a one-winch cat and a three-winch cat, they got to work together, but they try to work opposite. And you do that with the two cats and see what can happen. They are contrarians. That's what they are. But I believe that the people is going to make a change. Change must come, ladies and gentlemen. Better must come. Better must come. We need to take care of, Captain Eugene made some good points. I don't have to go over that. But we are going, in the first 10 days, 10 to 100 days, we are going, the first thing we're going to do is to put the old people benefit to $1,000. And in that 10 to 100 days, we must work on education, ladies and gentlemen. We have to do something about, listen, you know how many autistic children we got in this country? It's hundreds. It's not being addressed. Behavioral problems exist. And what are they doing? Everything that she do is a gloss of paper. And as John said tonight, she can yap. Oh, she can yap, 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 yap. She can do that. But show me the strides. Scholarships have been cut. Oh, they're bragging that they've done more. But they cut people's scholarships. So if you took 20,000 and you split it in half, well, then if you were giving 20 people, then you're giving 40, right? You should be. But they had money left over. They didn't. And they turned people down because they are elitist. I believe that if a child hasn't performed good, his GPA is not good, let's take that child and make sure that he brings it up. Don't graduate him and then turn him loose. Bring it up. Send him to a community college. That's what we were doing. And then when that child go to the community college and improves, Then he can go to University of Miami or an FIU or Queen's University in Canada or Birmingham University in the United Kingdom. That's what we need to do to build our country, to ensure that our children are educated. And then, when they come back, we got to ensure that they can get a job. So we are going, our education minister is going to have a lot of work to do. But we are going to do it. Let me tell you something that you might not understand, some of you might not know, but I know that you understand that our financial services industry is important to us. We only have two major industries, tourism and financial services. And they have wreaked havoc, particularly so on financial services. You don't know this because the industry is not reporting it, but companies are moving because of what they've done with this thing called beneficial ownership. And it's not just, ladies and gentlemen, believe you me, banks have to give tons, as soon as this thing has come into play, tons of information about individuals. And you see, we had never been slack in providing information to law enforcement agencies to deal with terrorism and other wrongful acts. We have been better than the developed countries. We have been, in many instances, better than London and better than New York in what we have done as far as our agreements. Now, the banks are being permitted having to give information, and companies are walking away from Cayman because there is now no privacy of individuals from undue interference by the state, by the country, without cause. You see, there's this thing called the rule of law, and it protects citizens from the state using far too much heavy powers without oversight by an independent body, normally the judiciary. They don't have to go to court to get information. They're now going to the banks and telling the banks, I want this, and it's not just the foreign accounts, it is yours too. And ladies and gentlemen, it is one of the most disastrous things. We were founded on confidentiality, and that is a right, a constitutional right. France has refused to put in place what we put in place. Yet the PPM let the United Kingdom push them to agree and change our confidentiality laws. And you can believe we are already losing business. The PPM do not deserve to be re-elected. If you see that go, and if it continues, you can believe more and more Caymanians are going to lose their job. When the Bahamas drove away the foreigners in the 1970s, because that's what happened, all the business went. Sir Vassal and others started in the 60s, 66 in fact, with our laws. And that's what made us successful. And if anyone sitting here tonight believe that I'm talking foolishness, you let them banks go, or you let us become such a place that nobody believes in us, then me and you, dog, will be better than us. Caymanians will lose and starve to death. Don't let these people tell you any foolishness. You hear some of them, and mind you, some of them believe they got plenty of sense, you know. Oh yes, they believe they got plenty of sense. But I'll tell you this, well, they not got none, because some of the things that I hear them saying, I don't know where they could do that. Must be out Kigoda. where nobody is, because they wouldn't be able to do it here and us live. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to have to renegotiate beneficial ownership. We are going to have to do it. We've already contacted Lord Panic, who's a notable lawyer from Blackstones in the United Kingdom. And when we're elected, God willing, he's going to have to challenge this and put off what they're doing until we can know where we're at. And where we're at right now, huge companies are beginning to pull out, and we don't know. We in pardon, and they're not going to tell us the truth. Because when I told the country that they had signed it, they said that I was delusional. The words they, like they use big words. But how right was I? Because they had went to London and they said they had 80% of the industry supporting them. They're a pack of liars. As my mama used to say, they will light the tail off a brass monkey. They had already signed it, and then the Foreign Office put it out on the website. Nobody else had done it. Cayman done it. I wonder what they promised them to get them foo-foo to do that. The banking and the financial industry, ladies and gentlemen, millions of dollars in revenue. If we lose it, we have nowhere else to get it. Tell me where. Maybe somebody have some ideas, but they're not going to bring that in. Medical services, educational services, infrastructure services will suffer. That's all on top of the fact that you can believe that any civil service is not going to sit down and lose their salary. What's going to happen? They're going to come then for your pocket. They're going to bring income tax in. They're going to bring property tax in. And I know that some people believe in it, and some of my friends believe in it. But I have seen this, that you start with a little bit, and then it continues and continues to grow to where your property not valued anything because you can't pay for it. Don't let these people fool you. The PPM do not deserve to be re-elected, and anyone associated with them down here deserve to be kept down here and never go back to that legislative assembly. Foreclosures is another matter that we have to deal with. They will tell you that's not true about people losing their house. Not true. Not true. At least 3 people per day calls me and talks to me about losing their house for $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 after paying for it for about 15, 12 years, 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it is wrong. Yes, the banks are private institutions, but the government must protect its citizens. It is not the government's money. It's not an MLA's money. It is private institution, but we have to look at this situation. We have to, because what's happening, you go to try to remortgage, and one of the things that is set up is the fact that they have the company, some of them, to come and tell you what the value of your house is. They done so to me. My house has valued so much. In January, July, they tell me it was $150,000 less. I said, which house? Don't come here. Which house you talking about? Tell me, who tell you this? I bet you I got that straightened out in a hurry. I bet you when he came back, he said, no, we'll have to keep it that way. I said, you bet. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the things that we have to correct. Mind you now, we cannot go. The bank money is the bank money. We all understand that. That's the banking institution. They have their rules, regulations. But we will negotiate to ensure that people are given a better chance than they have now. And government is going to have to put up some money in the first instance to help. some people. We can't help everybody, but we can have to take some of the worst cases and help them on the road back to recovery. Too many houses are being lost. And when a man loses his house, you know what kind of feeling that must be? When a man has worked for years and has lost his house, all hope sometime gone, you're already past 60, you can't get a job, then what happens? No, we are going to have to deal with it. Health insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, and the health services, they need a serious shake-up in this country. Serious shake-up. And we are going to talk about a new insurance soon. Hopefully, on rally night, let me take a break here and say, don't forget that Monday night is our rally. We're going to have a motorcade. I'll ring that bell again at the end of my speech. But let's come out and show our support. That will frighten them. Ladies and gentlemen, the bureaucracy is triangulating this country. They brag about their give, you won't have to pay $75. So if they brought any one of the licenses down to $75, they certainly created a whole lot more that you gotta do. You gotta go get a lawyer. 16 pages. Public liability for them boys selling coconuts and water on the port. It's a shame what this government has done to drag Caymanians down and down and down. Strangulating business and stopping business from improving and moving forward. Let's kick the PPM out. Send them packing. And they tell us the pension law does need some revamping. It should have been done. She can say what she like. Tariwa's amendments didn't help the situation. And we know that that has to be revamped much more than what was done. And let me tell you something else. Say what they want. But if you have somebody here working and they got a pension and they're going, I don't believe that we should keep it. No. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't believe so. Give them back their money they're going. Carry it. It's theirs. It's not ours. It is not ours. Give it back to them. The builder's law, I told them in Georgetown last night, ladies and gentlemen, you know now that you can't build your own house. Listen, when some of us tried to get a house bit by bit by bit, that's how we built it, on our own. Now you can't do that. You got to go and get what they call a qualified contractor now. And the qualified contractor mightn't be the carpenter that is a good block layer or a good block layer and a good carpenter that you know and can work with. No. You got to go and get one of their qualified contractors. Imagine how many homes would not have been built over the years in Cayman if we had that kind of law in place. No. Some fathers went away and brothers went away and built a house. On this trip we did so much. On the next trip we did so much. Now, you won't do that. So that law has to be changed. Planning law has to be changed. And the National Conservation Law has to be changed because the National Conservation Law is ruining people's value in their property to save a lime lizard and a cricket. And you think I'm talking foolishness? No, that's a fact. They can declare that there is an ant nest out there and that's a special ant and you can't do nothing with it. You can't build on your piece of land. Go get it if you think I'm talking foolishness. The port, now that's the one. That's the one. Ladies and gentlemen, they say that's going to cost $300 million. The garbage dump, $750 million. That's $1 billion, over $1 billion. Listen, when something breaks in this country, you know who they come into? Us. You to pay for it. They got us in trouble before with their grandiose projects. All this glass and all these things for the school committed us to contracts that we had to keep. Costing $106 million. They should have built it for $10, $15 million. They're coming back now with their grandiose projects again. You don't see that in the paper a few days ago? Yes. And I've asked the governor, what are you doing about this? There is no scrutiny, there is no legislative assembly, the House is dissolved. Under proper protocol and convention, governments do not enter in any shape or form any kind of huge contracts when the House is not there. What are they running so fast for it now? To do what? Commit the country. You think they know what they're doing? No, they do. First, they say they're not going to lengthen the airport runway, and there will be no jetway. Then they come back and say they are looking at it. In our plan, we had for the port, if we had gotten the go-ahead with information that said it would not hurt 7 Mile Beach, we would have built land so that more Caymanians could get a shop there. But they come now and say, no upland development. Now they come back and say they can do some, but only the ones who have a store or a shop in Georgetown will get a space on it. What do you think they're doing? What do you think they're doing? You think that they can drill that hole so small that we can't see into it? No, they're protecting family. You know it. I say give people a chance, man. Give people a chance. Give the poor man a chance to get something from the cruise ships too. And they're doing the same thing at the airport. Companies that have been there for years and have helped build the institution you call the airport. They're not running them out now too? And you want to see a rigmarole that they got to go through. I want to know who they how set aside to get that business. You see, Tara Rivers, when they got in, there was a company there, and I have no problem with any Caymanian because that's what we're there to help. But what we got to do is to balance it. They had American Airlines, and they covered them, and not many Caymanians was employed, but that was still a Caymanian business. Well, they wanted a license, and we knew if they had given them another license, Cayman Airways would lose. Well, some kind of cousin to them. And what happened? They gave them the license, and right away they went to British Airways, cut, and Cayman Airways lost about $1 million. British Airways is now with them. Another thing, that same Tara Rivers and that group done. Jake Scott wanted to come down here with another liquor store. Well, I was Minister of Planning, and I said, not on my watch. We don't need another one. We got Joanna's, we had other companies, top. But they have family businesses here in West Bay. Soon as they got in, what happened? Jake Scott put it in. Put it in place. Killing our own business, our own local business. They don't care. They do so for friends. That's what they do for. Now, ladies and gentlemen, another noise, and I'm going to cut short here because it's that time of the night. But some noise is made about Cayman Turtle Farm and the fact that there is a deficit. When you saw the PPM candidate on the forum that night run around with one piece of long paper, I don't think she knew what she was doing, you know, because she couldn't explain it. What was it? Sure, there's a deficit. So what's so big about everybody know there's a deficit? What has been done? Of course, while they say that they support it, they go on and talk about the water aspect of the farm. And of course, they criticize it because McKeeva Bush built it. You see, it seems they forgot how the farm moved over to where they are. They seem to forget that the farm was destroyed and that we had to start from scratch. They forgot that. I didn't see them that morning down there. Barney was, others was. The Tourism Association led the redevelopment plan, and the cruise and hoteliers demanded for those amenities to be put in place because we were projecting more cruise and we had no place for them. If we had allowed them to go on the public beaches, well, what would have happened then? So it was agreed to put the water aspect of it. However, ladies and gentlemen, the one thing of the plan that was in the plan to ensure that the farm would be able to pay for itself was to build a pier at Cayman Turtle Farm so that we could take at least one ship per day. That's what was in the plan. But the PPM got in 2005 and they scrapped it. The PPM scuttled that plan, and that is why the farm has not made the money it should be making. They scuttled the plan. The cruise ships was already willing. The captains came and looked at it. They got deep water. There would be no problem in putting one ship there. And they said, look, this is probably the best place because something happened. They said, we got clear run, reversed, and gone about our business. There is no reef. That's what they said to us. They loved it. Now, the PPM satellites down here talking about it has a deficit. That's why it has a deficit. If the one ship was coming in there, they wouldn't have no deficit. And you know what? They would employ more people. Would be more employment. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to build a cruise pier to take at least one ship per day. That will bring more employment there, and it will stop the deficit. And in fact, I think build a surplus for the farm. Ladies and gentlemen, it is late. Civil servants, wherever you are tonight, I want to say to you, if you vote for the PPM, you vote for your own detriment. You see, they gave the civil service a few dollars raise. But now they are saying when they get back in, the civil service will pay for your insurance. And on top of that, you're not going to have a choice. Give us a chance. And that plan of the PPM, ladies and gentlemen, will go to the dump. It will not be implemented. It will not be implemented. Ladies and gentlemen, Monday is a public holiday. And we will have a rally at A.L. Thompson's in the evening. But I want to invite you to come for our motorcade. A motorcade starting at 8 Bush Sports Center at 3 p.m. But we want you there so that you can put put your balloons on, and we have some flags that we will be giving you. There will be t-shirts available there on Monday evening. Now don't be scared. We've had this every election. We've had the best one and the biggest one. And all them that cussed us about it, they try to put on one too. And so we are going to go through the district, and then we are going to go to A.L. Thompson for a rally where we'll have some guest speakers, and the whole team will be there. So let's show our strength. Join up with the motorcade. As I said, we will have flags. We will have t-shirts on Monday at around 1:30. We should start getting there. Don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. On Saturday, we're going to have our praise for mothers at the Courthouse Park, 7 o'clock. This is not the party thing. This is put on by myself through the foundation, little foundation that I have. And people are going to praise mothers. That's what we're going to do. People, Reverend Mary Graham is going to bring some remembrances from the Anglican Church. Then we're going to have Mary Lawrence talk about growing up in Cayman. People will read poems, will sing songs, all in praise of mothers. The oldest mother there will get a prize. The youngest mother will get a prize. The mother with the most children will get a prize. And the longest married couple will get a prize. So let's invite people to come out. It's a good day, good evening. Sunday is Mother's Day, but it's worthy for us to praise and take a break out of the political noise and praise our mothers. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, don't be fooled by some of these yappers that are going around. Some of them saying, oh, when they go to this house that they know is with me, we support Mac. We support Mac. Then when they go over there, there's something else. Don't believe, don't be fooled. My team is here. My team is here. And I have no loyalty anywhere else but my team. Team in Georgetown, you heard who they are. That's my team. Yes, we said we will support some independents because there are some good independents in some areas and we leave them alone. But anybody that votes Central Georgetown, give Kenneth Bryan a chance. Give him a chance. They treated the boy too bad. They used him, said all kind of good things about him, and now they're coming back, want to eat him. Give him a chance. But down here in West Bay and in Bottom Town, we got the East and the West there. Give them a chance. We got the captain in Central, Captain Eugene E. Banks. A vote for Captain Eugene E. Banks is a vote to get us the government, is a vote for me. Bernie, here in the north, a vote for Bernie Bush is a vote for McKeeva Bush. And you tell the rest of them they can keep yapping on any Facebook or brown book or black book. We're going to put Bernie back in. And in South, John Jefferson Jr. You give John a chance in the South. And you know what I believe? I believe that the people are going to do that in this country. They're going to send the PPM packing. You saw what happened in the Bahamas last night? 38 seats. And the government lost. The very prime minister lost his seat. They only got 5 out of 38 or 39 seats. The opposition beat their pants off of them. And you know what? We need that same spirit down here in Cayman this election. Send the PPM packing. Say enough is enough. We've had enough, and time for them to go. And you heard what I've said. We are like the children of Israel. We know that they are behind us. The Egyptians are chasing us full speed, but we're going full speed, and God is going to part the Red Sea for us to cross. He's going to do it, my friends. He's going to do it. For the conquering Savior shall break every chain and give us the victory again and again. For the conquering Savior shall break every chain and give us the victory again and again. Good night, and God bless you all.